All right, let's talk about driving. Think about your daily commute for a second. What's the most nerve-wracking part? It's probably not the open highway. Nope, it's the intersection. That's where all of our paths cross and, where things can go sideways really, really fast. But with the right know-how, we can absolutely handle them with confidence. And hey, this isn't just a hunch. The data is crystal clear. The NYS DMV driver's manual just lays it right out there. Most traffic crashes occur at intersections when a driver makes a turn. I mean, just let that sink in. That one specific action in that one specific place is the number one cause of collisions. That's exactly why we've got to get this right. So, the big question is, how do we turn these high-risk zones into something we can just handle, safely and without breaking a sweat every single time? Well, that is exactly what we are about to break down. First up, we need to completely reframe how we think about intersections. Let's stop seeing them as just a place where roads meet and start seeing them for what they really are, a danger zone that demands our A game, our full attention. I mean, think about it. An intersection is the one spot where cars, trucks, cyclists, and pedestrians are all trying to cram into the same tiny piece of real estate from totally different directions. Without a system, it'd just be pure chaos, right? The solution is a shared set of rules, kind of like a universal language that every single driver is supposed to understand. And that whole system, it's built on one core idea: knowing who has the right of way. Which brings us to the absolute bedrock of intersection safety: figuring out who has the right of way. And this isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's the fundamental logic that keeps our roads from turning into a total free-for-all. So what is right of way, really? Well, it's just the set of rules that tells us who gets to go first and who has to wait. I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. It's the grammar of the road. It structures the whole conversation between drivers so everybody knows their part, and we're all, hopefully, speaking the same language. So let's look at a classic situation. You're at a green light, you want to turn left. Traffic is coming straight at you from the other direction. So, who has the right of way? It's the oncoming traffic every single time. The driver turning left must yield until it's completely safe. Oh, and here's a little pro tip, a real lifesaver. While you're waiting, keep your wheels pointing straight ahead. That way, if someone bumps you from behind, you don't get shoved into that oncoming traffic. Okay, but what about those tricky spots? An intersection with no stop signs or a four-way stop where two cars show up at the exact same time? The rule couldn't be simpler. The driver on the left yields to the driver on the right. Just burn that one into your brain. It's an old rule designed to keep things moving, and it completely gets rid of that awkward and super dangerous you go, no you go dance. And these rules pop up all over the place too. If a car is already in the intersection, they get to go first. Pedestrians in a crosswalk, they always have the right of way, no question. Pulling out of a driveway, you wait. See that traffic is backed up and you can't make it all the way through the intersection? Don't go. Don't be that person who blocks the box. And in a traffic circle, you always yield to the cars already in it. All right, now let's crank up the intensity. What happens when you see those flashing lights or hear a siren getting closer? Well, the normal rules of right-of-way get a major update. Okay, listen, when an emergency vehicle is coming, there's no debate. As soon as you see those lights or hear that siren, your one and only job is to clear a path. That means pulling over safely to the right, not the left, not the middle, and coming to a full stop. This gives them a clear, predictable lane, and it saves seconds that could literally be the difference between life and death. And please, don't forget the move over law. If you see an emergency vehicle or even a hazard vehicle like a tow truck stopped on the shoulder with its lights flashing, you are legally required to move over one lane if you can do it safely. And if you can't move over, you have to slow down. This law is all about protecting the people working on our roadsides. It's a huge deal. Now, you might see some other colored lights out there. What's the deal with those? Well, a blue light is usually a volunteer firefighter on their way to a call. Green? That's often a volunteer ambulance or rescue squad member. And amber lights mean a hazard vehicle, like a snowplow or a tow truck. Now, you aren't legally required to pull over and stop for these like you are for a police car or fire truck, but the message is the same. Be cautious, slow way down, and if you can yield as a courtesy, do it. Okay, so we've got the rules of engagement down. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of execution, how to master the mechanics of a perfect and perfectly safe turn. I want you to burn this number into your brain, 100 feet. That is the minimum distance you have to signal before you make a turn.
So why 100 feet? Because at normal city speeds, that gives the driver behind you 2, even 3 full seconds of warning to see your signal and react. It's not just some random rule, it's a vital communication tool. Remember, predictability is safety.
So here's your mental checklist for a safe turn. First, slow down before you get to the turn, not while you're in it. Second, scan, scan, scan. Be hyper aware of smaller things like motorcycles and bikes. They are so easy to miss. And don't forget that critical tip. Keep those wheels straight until you actually start the turn. Always look for pedestrians, and for a right turn, hug that right curb to stay in your lane. What if you need to turn around completely? Well, a U-turn can be incredibly risky, and the law is super clear on this. U-turns are illegal anywhere your view is blocked, like near the top of a hill or on a sharp curve or in a school zone. The basic rule of thumb is if other drivers can't see you from 500 feet away, just don't even think about it.
So when a U-turn is a no-go, the 3-point turn is your safest bet. It's a precise little maneuver that keeps you from blocking traffic for too long. The absolute key is being constantly aware. After that first move across the road, you've got to look both ways before you start backing up. Then one final check of traffic, and you can pull forward and be on your way. Yeah, it's slower than a U-turn, but it's infinitely safer on a busy or narrow street. So, look, we have the rules. We know the playbook. But the final and maybe most crucial thought is this. You can't control what other drivers are going to do. The rules are clear, but is everyone actually following them? Probably not. Your ultimate defense isn't just knowing the rules. It's being the most predictable, the most communicative, and the most aware driver out there. That's how you truly master the crossroads.